show here on Keeping It 100, K100 Kids. This is the kid right here. This is my kid, Austin.
Hello.
Named after Stone Cold Steve Austin. Still unknown to his mum. 12 years later, we've managed to pull that off. She has no idea. So we are going to be talking here on this show about moments in history, looking at them through the eyes of a child. The first thing we decided to watch as it's Royal Rumble season was the 2006 Royal Rumble. And straight out the bat, we have the perfect guest to discuss that. Let me bring him in. He's the greatest Mexican wrestler of all time. He's the greatest luchador of all time. He's the greatest cruiserweight of all time. He's the greatest masked wrestler of all time. It is, of course, Rey Mysterio.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, Ray?
Very good, Bill. How you doing, Austin?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you. Getting ready for SmackDown today.
Yeah, cool.
So it's great. I'm going to hand it over to him soon to ask his questions, but let me just let you know off the bat. One of the reasons this show actually happened was because of a conversation we had when we had a conversation. I won't go too deep into it, but we were talking about how it was important how we want to give our kids as much as possible, but not spoil them at the same time, because he gets to do a lot of stuff. So off the back of that conversation, I gave him jobs. He's now running a TikTok account for me, for my company, because I didn't want to be on there. He's running an Instagram for me, and now he's on here as well. So he's earning his stuff now off that conversation.
That's awesome. I love.
The other thing is, sorry, go on.
No. I was just saying that I love it. I love the fact that you got him doing stuff and moving and learning, at a very young age.
And the other thing is we were debating whether to do our Royal Rumble preview and then bring you on at the end or at the beginning. But I thought we'd start off hot, because when I think of you sometimes, I think the greatest opening match in history is SummerSlam 2002. Perfect opening match, around about 10 minutes, but it's just boom, 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 boom straight away. If I'm doing one of those like fantasy cards where I pick like 8 to 10 matches and do your dream card ever, that would be the way that I would open a show. I love that match, SummerSlam 2002.
Thank you. That was my first time working Kurt, and I know Kurt was given 3 names to choose from to work with for his next program, and I was honored the fact that he had picked me. So I knew I was just coming into the company. A lot of WWE fans didn't know who Rey Mysterio was, so I felt like I had to prove something that night, and I couldn't have picked the perfect opponent. Kurt Angle was just awesome, man. He had me on my toes the whole match.
And I think that's also a good example of it didn't matter. It doesn't matter who won, because everybody got over from it. Like it was just a great match, and just to hang with him with the position that he was at the time. Like it established you with WWE fans. I'm gonna hand over to him because he came up with some questions from watching the Rumble this week. So let's see what he come up with.
Let's go.
All right. My first question is your favorite moment in WWE winning the 2006 Royal Rumble? Or is it something like winning the title at WrestleMania 22 or winning the tag belts with Dominic?
So I would think that just in my perspective, to be able to become champion, I had to win the Royal Rumble. So that was definitely the first step on becoming world champion. So if I had to put in order some of my top moments, definitely winning the Royal Rumble, being number 2, coming out into that Rumble, and having the longest time being inside a Royal Rumble match. So most definitely. And then, of course, becoming world champion. And then my career just kind of evolves and has like a new beginning. And that's when my son Dominic starts. And, of course, becoming tag team champions with my son and being the first ever in the history of WWE father and son tag team champions. That just makes it even more special. It has a higher note to it, higher level.
Okay, thank you. My second question is, I do drama at my school, high school, and I'm trying to learn about 29s for like the school play. How hard is it for you to remember everything in an hour-long Royal Rumble?
So believe it or not, I was horrible at school on remembering or studying or even reading. I was just so bad. Now that I'm an adult, I wish I could have, uh, you know, I wish I could have taken the time to study more like I do with wrestling. For me, wrestling is obviously you have to have in your mindset what you're doing, when you're doing it, and who you're doing it with. And it's just practice, memorizing step by step whatever it is that you're gonna do. With wrestling, I've never had any issues remembering stuff because it gets ingrained in my brain. But I think for you, in the case of rehearsing drama and having to do that, I think practice, without a doubt, makes perfection. The more you practice, the more you feel comfortable and you get used to it.
Okay, thank you. Okay. My dad still says that his favorite Rumble was Royal Rumble 1992, but I think it was quite boring. And I thought your one that you won was better. So, do you think that currently the Royal Rumbles are getting better as the superstars are getting more athletic?
I think it all has to do with the generations and the type of fan base that we have now compared to back in the 90s. I grew up watching the Rumbles in the mid 90s. So to me, that was like very special, but it was different characters. So it was based more on the characters that you had, and it wasn't so much high flying, it wasn't so much the action moves, it was how big that name was. The Hulk Hogan's, the Ultimate Warriors, the Big Boss Mans. So it was a different generation, different type of adrenaline or excitement compared to now. I think that our fan base has definitely changed, and fans are intrigued, or in particular, they like a certain type of Royal Rumble match. I know for me, always the biggest surprise, or what even possibly could have made the night, is who was the uh, who was a surprise entry, and that was always exciting to wait for. This year, tomorrow, I'm excited to see, even being part of it, to see who is the special surprise entry. So I think that the evolution of the Rumbles throughout the years have been incredible. Some years it can be better than others, but overall, my personal favorite is the same one that you like. So we're on the same page.
Let me just add to that. So he doesn't understand yet because he's still very young. But sometimes if I want to kick back and watch the 92 Rumble, it's
Yep.
because it makes me feel his age. So
Yes.
and it's
Nostalgia.
and that and that particular one is just before a lot of guys left. So it's the last one with Sid and Hogan and DiBiase and Bulldog and Savage and Flair. And it's a lot of guys that weren't together again, like until actually, WCW actually did get a lot of those guys. But it's those guys at their peak. And I understand it's slower. And I appreciate, obviously, a lot of more current Rumbles. The wrestling level is a lot higher. So yeah,
Right.
I understand that completely. But for me, it just takes me back to a time where I could enjoy it through his eyes.
Of course, and that makes it even more special. Austin, just imagine the Rumble that your dad is comparing is like you picking your favorite top 10 superstars right now in the moment and put them all in a Royal Rumble match. And that's kind of like the feeling that your dad gets.
Oh, okay, cool.
So on to that one.
Do you have one?
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry. Yeah. So actually, we watched that Royal Rumble, and he said to me, "Oh, where are the Triple H Rey Mysterio matches?" Because he's a little bit programmed now, where
Yep.
often when the Rumble happens, we have this period heading towards WrestleMania. We have a pay-per-view in between. And often it's the guy that you eliminate last, but you actually went on and faced Orton instead, which I explained to him. But then also got me thinking, Do you feel that you missed out on something there where you didn't have that feud with Triple H? Because it's more understandable why you didn't have the feud with Shawn Michaels, because when he came back, he was doing he was very much aligned with Christianity, didn't really want to turn heel. So that never happened. Same thing, RVD, another one who was around at the time, he never had a heel run. But Triple H was an out and out heel. He seemed like a perfect opponent, but there is no big program with him. Is that any kind of regret about that at all?
Most definitely, from my end. At the time, I don't know where Triple H was going, or who he was working with, but I do feel like I missed that big opportunity to be able to learn and work with Triple H. Just being in there with him that moment during the Rumble, I felt like there was chemistry, most definitely. And I think I could have learned so much from Hunter that there was an opportunity missed, at least from my end. Now, again, I don't know if he had other programs going at the time that were much bigger, that maybe the plan was to eventually work against each other, but it just never came about. So I do feel like there was an opportunity missed.
Yeah, because it's crazy, because it's not like you were in there for a couple of years and you moved on or he moved on to TNA or whatever. It was like you were there for a good 10, 11 years together, and the program didn't happen. It's a strange one how that kind of match is missing when the two guys are there. I mean, if you look at posters and video games and everything, it's like you're both in them all the time. And one's a proper heel and one's, you're the babyface along with Ricky Steamboat, who hasn't been a heel. So, I found that strange. And it really only hit me when I was explaining it to him. He goes, because he said, "Where's the Triple H Ray matches? We'll watch those." I'll be like, "There isn't any there isn't any I can show you." So,
right. That's actually a question that when I do run into Hunter, I'm gonna ask him why we never had the chance to work a program together. I'm intrigued now to find out why.
All right, final question. There's quite a big chance that you run into Dominic Mysterio at the Rumble at the same time. Would you be looking to eliminate him, or would you just be trying to avoid him and hope that you don't get him at the same time in the Rumble?
So, wow, that's a very good question and a hard one as well. I don't know if you remember, Austin, but I right before Survivor Series 2019, I was getting ready to retire. Like I just felt like there was nothing here for me to do or accomplish, and my son convinced me to not go. He said, stay, please. And then things just started evolving for the good. Next thing you know, my son is wrestling. We become tag team champions, and my world has completely changed. And then all of a sudden, he turns his back on me. I stayed because of him. So if we were to cross paths in this Rumble match, I would probably turn my back. I think so. I would turn my back. Now, I can say that right now because I'm not in the match, but I can feel completely different if it comes down to it, and I'm in there in the ring with thousands of fans around us and having to choose him or me. So it's a tricky question. I guess we're going to have to wait to see if it happens.
Yeah.
Well, from my perspective, over the last couple of months, you guys have done some of your best work. It's the off TV stuff. I really encourage people to check it out. If you're just people that just watch the TV show, there's so many good things happening off TV with the home invasions and everything. And some of the stuff's really been cracking me up. I text off sometimes and said that was really funny. Just one thing I want to add, before we let you go. Actually, some of this came about in terms of watching a lot of your old stuff was because of this right here. And
oh wow!
The video
yes,
game.
Wow.
And the original reaction, because he's very young, was, "Oh, how come Ray got the cover?" Because obviously at this point in your career, you're doing a very similar thing to what Shawn Michaels did at the end, which is actually staying to put people over, which is the right thing to do. I mean, some guys, I love Hulk Hogan, I love Stone Cold Steve Austin, but they didn't do it, and that's what I was explaining to him. But then at the same time, we go back, we watch the Dominic, the custody of Dominic match with Eddie. We watch
Right.
the Royal Rumble. We watch the WrestleMania, and now like a kid of his age can understand why this happens. Do you find that happening a lot? Do you have any awareness of that happening, where suddenly a whole new generation is going, oh my god, like Rey Mysterio is a serious like legend?
Yes, I think that for me, I just think it's very special and unique. I feel like the years that I put into this business, not that it hasn't paid off, but it's now you're seeing it pay off. Slowly with certain things, just like an example being on the cover of 2K22. You know, I also understand that throughout the years, even being in WCW, and of course the years that I've spent with WWE, the fans were always very big on playing the Rey Mysterio character in the video games. They just thought it was very special. Maybe the high flying moves, maybe the colorful outfits, the mask. It just brought a lot of attention to the fan base that was into gaming, and I think when you put those things together and you choose who's going to be the cover of 22, Rey Mysterio came to mind, and here I am now promoting, and I believe this was one of the biggest sales in the history of the gaming in WWE. So I felt really honored and privileged to not share a cover with somebody else. This time it was just me, and it was focused on my career. That just pays. It just makes me aware that they've paid attention and that they respect what I've done over the past years. And to your other point, Bill, the fact that a lot of superstars weren't able to put other superstars over, young and upcoming stars. I think that has been the case, but it's a mixture, a variety of those. Stone Cold, obviously, I think he couldn't compete any longer, where
Right.
he had to be pulled away from this world, as well. Edge to a certain extent, and then he came back slowly and doing the right thing, putting guys over, building a team, which I believe that's for those OGs that have been around for over 20 years. I think that is part of our job, to make sure that the next generation is set, and that fans have eyes laid on the up and coming superstars, that deserve the opportunity.
Well, I can tell you all the outfits do work, because we go into toy shops and he doesn't walk past those ones. Like you got a Batman action figure now, a purple one, and they're hard to like. We've already got Ray, but it's like I haven't got that Ray. I haven't got the Batman Ray. I haven't got the purple Ray, the Ray with the little Dominic head. So yeah, it's quite hard for kids to pass up. It's very appealing. It's very well done, and it's great. Like that perfectly works for so long.
Yeah, and a side note on that, like I never did this to generate more income or more action figures. I've always been like this throughout my whole career. I've always liked to change my outfits, change the colors, maybe every now and then change the design, and once the action figure company jumped on top of it, it's like, okay, we need to make sure we have this one, this one, this one, and this one. So it became part of my gimmick, but it's a gimmick that I've had since day one.
Yeah, it's great. We love them all. Like every
awesome.
time, from Joker, Batman, everything that you've done, it all works. Is anything you want to add? We've done our questions. I want to thank you for coming on, giving us such a great guest for the first show as well.
That's awesome, man. I'm privileged and honored to have been the first guest. I think this section of the podcast, Keeping It 100, is a really cool idea. I love the concept. And Austin, if you happen I don't know if you're always going to have superstars as guests, but my nephew, who's also my godson, he's going to be 10 years old. He's a big wrestling fanatic. He's been to a lot of shows with me, and I told him that you had this podcast going on with your dad and with Conan, that if he wanted to be a guest, because he also loves wrestling, that I would let see if maybe one day you can invite him. You guys can talk over who your favorite superstars are. I think it would be really cool as well.
That would be great. Like if we can set something up for them to both watch from the past at the same time and see what the contrasting reactions are to what they watch. That would be great. Yeah.
That would be really cool. Yeah, man. But thank you again for having me on, and I hope you have a lot of success with this podcast, and you have great company along for the next couple of years or however long this lasts. Bless.
Good luck. Good luck tomorrow. Good luck tonight against Karrion Kross as well.
Thank you very much, guys. You have a good one.
Thanks.
All right. Bye bye.
Thank you.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
I think we'll have a little break in, and they'll edit it out, edit the middle, and then we can talk. All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again to Rey Mysterio for coming on. We are now going to quickly talk about the Royal Rumble on Saturday now. We moved to Saturday night. Yeah. So just very quickly, who do you like on the men's Rumble?
Well,
you're still holding out for this one idea, aren't you? Yeah. So who is it? Just talk to the camera because they don't know.
Rock.
Yeah, you want to see The Rock?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's not gonna. He's 50-50 chance he'll come. But they've been hyping it up for years. This match.
But they haven't hyped it up on TV. Do you not think there should be like more hints towards it? There would be more hints towards
it. Yeah, like they did when they bring back Bray Wyatt. You know, for the rabbit and stuff. Yeah,
not like promo videos, but Roman hasn't. I don't know, just saying something like, "I'm the greatest of all time," or things of that nature. Or I run this family. Like they were going to do a family thing on Raw, but they didn't do it. And that made a lot of people think that The Rock definitely wasn't coming. So if The Rock doesn't win, would you be disappointed to see anybody else? What about Sammy and this story they've got going? If that ended...
I think it's certainly possible.
But do you like it? Like, do you like the story enough for it to be Sammy? Or do you just...
I just don't think Sami Zayn, who everyone... He wasn't very big a year ago.
Yeah.
He's big. He's decently big now, but he's not a main eventer of the biggest show of the year.
So what you're saying is when certain people are portrayed a certain way, that you'll never ever accept them as a main eventer, like no matter what.
Maybe for like a smaller pay-per-view, maybe like Extreme Rules or something like that. But this is WrestleMania.
Well, there's a pay-per-view in Montreal where he lives, the Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania. So you think that would be where you put Sami Zayn in?
Yeah.
Well, what about Cody Rhodes? He's coming back. There's been loads of videos. I think.
He was talking about the title belt before.
Yeah, and I think when you see the videos, they're making it look like he will win, but I almost feel that they're making it look too obvious, and that's kind of.
I think he'll get top 3 for sure.
But don't think he'll win.
No.
And the last one, who people are talking about, is Stone Cold Steve Austin, because it's in Texas. And he's definitely training for a match. Like there's loads of videos of him training. What about him? In terms of 2 questions: would you accept it, and do you think it's possible? Like, would you be happy?
I'd accept it.
Yeah. So you'd be that's how you'll be happy about that than Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. It's either Rock or Stone Cold, in my opinion. I think one of them kind of has to, but. Both of them are both they both get into my top 3 of all time easily.
That's mad because these when I was well, not your age, but back we're talking 25 years ago, you'd be sitting here having this conversation about it's Rock or Austin, and now we fast forward to 2023, you're sitting here as a kid who's never actually watched them wrestle.
Imagine they were both in it and there was a final 2. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, you never watched them wrestle live, either one of them. And you're sitting here saying, I want to see The Rock or Austin win. I don't think they'll both be in. I think that would be too expensive. And it wouldn't. I think if one's in, he'll win.
I even get in there. I think they're definitely going to win.
I still think Rock. I just feel that there's a lot of hinting that happened before and suddenly it stopped. But I feel that for other reasons that I'm not going to talk to you about, actually, when you were just a kid. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff where I think it could be The Rock. All right, what about the women's one? The favourites to win it are Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. You've got Bailey in there as well. Just the champions at the moment are Bianca and Charlotte. So anybody except those two, I think, are possible. Obviously, anybody those two are in the running. You've got Ronda Rousey as well. There's talk about Naomi coming back and being in it. Anybody you think will win that?
I don't think Naomi would really win it. I think she could definitely come back. I just don't think she'd really win it.
So who's your winner? What Mania match do you see from the champ? There's two champions.
I could see Ronda Charlotte. I could see Becky Charlotte mainly though. Becky Charlotte would be quite good.
Becky Charlotte's been done so many times though.
Yeah, but not on WrestleMania.
Well, they had the triple threat match with Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte. That should Charlotte shouldn't have been in there, and it should have been Becky Ronda because that would have been bigger. And then you could have left matches for Charlotte to have. Charlotte, the weird thing about being champion, is that she's had so many matches with everybody. So for me, it isn't a big WrestleMania match for her to have. I think for me, the winner that gives you options, gives you a new match with Bianca, at least on the main roster, and gives you a rematch from WrestleMania 36 against Charlotte, which hasn't been overly done, would be Rhea Ripley. Yeah. I think Rhea Ripley.
I think that's possible too. Yeah, I think Becky or Rhea, honestly.
Yeah, I'm the same. But what one? If you had to pick one.
It's tough, really tough.
I'm going to take Rhea.
Yeah, I think I'll take Rhea as well.
All right. So last thing we'll discuss. Unless you want to talk about the pitch black match, what do you think that will be? What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? I don't have any idea. I think Bray will win.
Bray, of course.
But I don't know what we'll see. I mean, what about him not winning though? What about Uncle Howdy interrupting and him losing? Because he's not.
That could certainly happen, yes. But I honestly think Fiend's going to come out. I think LA Knight's going to start being Bray, yeah. And
right.
Then Fiend will turn on tomorrow.
Okay. And in the title match, Owens and Roman Reigns, we saw Roman say he doesn't want to see Sammy to the Rumble, and that would be his final test. What does that mean? Do you see a new champion? No. So
I think Sami Zayn will backstab Kevin Owens once.
Well, he won't backstab him. He's not with him.
Yeah, I mean he'll go with Roman once and for all.
Yeah. Well, and then what will Roman do? Do you think he'll appreciate that, or do you think he'll use him for the final time, and then they'll turn him for that?
They've definitely got to turn soon because it's been going on for a long time. I thought they would turn at Survivor Series or something. You
don't like slow stories, do you? When Bray's coming out, you're just kind of like, oh come on, where's the Fiend? Come on,
yeah.
You don't like the slow. So you don't
not with Bray Wyatt. Maybe this story has been good because it's been good. They do have to end it soon, but
you talk about the Roman one, yeah.
Yeah.
But with Bray, you just want it quicker.
Yeah, Bray is too long because of what kind of character he is.
But you don't think when the Fiend comes out, it'll just be like, oh my god, it's so worth the wait,
Yeah, obviously, but
that's what they're trying to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was another match on there, Alexa and Bianca. We could have talked about it with the Fiend because Alexa's been recently, Uncle Howdy's been coming to her matches, and she's been having little fits and chances, and just been basically turned into a baddie because she's now got the Bray Wyatt demon seed inside her. Or I shouldn't have said it that way, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So what do you think will happen there? Do you think she can win the title?
Ooh, jeez.
Well, it'll cost her the title instead.
I think I'm going to go with the dark horse for winning it.
Really?
I think Uncle Howdy will not do something to Bianca, but distract her, if you know what I mean. And then, boom.
Yeah, because at the moment, he's just been distracting Alexa instead.
Yeah.
All right, we done? We done. Yeah, that's it for your first episode of K100 Kids. I'm Billy. This is Austin. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks and looking at some moments from February in the past. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hold on. We didn't do any plugs.
What's a plug?
A plug is this here when you say your Instagram, which has been on there the whole time. Shall I do one first and then you can do it? All right. Before we go, let me just tell you where you can find us. I am on Twitter @lockbetting.com. I will be doing a wrestling Twitter soon. I'm just trying to take a little break from Twitter. That's the Twitter account for lockbetting.com. Lockbetting.com is my website, which has delivered on my clients 116 months in a row of transparent track profit. So if you want to do your research, go to @lockbetting.com. Look at the pinned tweet. The pinned tweet is a spreadsheet. All the spreadsheets are verified by members. There's no like BSing or anything here. Everything is tracked and transparent, and I genuinely have delivered 116 months in a row of transparent track profit. All my wrestling stuff is up at thedirtysheets.com. So the website is thedirtysheets.com. And Austin, where can we
Your
find?
TikTok too.
You can talk about it. You run it. You can talk about it.
So there's my Instagram, which is at Austin's Toys and Games. You can go and look that up. I've got like 1,000 followers or something. Anyway.
Nearly 2,000 actually.
And then there's a TikTok.
What's on your TikTok? What's on your Instagram?
Me just meeting a bunch of people at the moment.
Yeah, well that's interesting. You need to say what's on it.
Yeah, I meet like a bunch of footballers.
We're just coaching him through his first episode. Like he'll know how to do plugs by the end. But go on.
Yeah, I meet famous people at the moment and get autographs from them, like footballers. I've met Aaron Rodgers. I've met Novak Djokovic from tennis.
And then you put but look, often he gets toys signed, which is the main reason that it was called that, and puts the pictures of the toys up there. But he's moved on from collecting the wrestling toys a little bit to sports memorabilia. Oh, dogs going crazy out there. Yeah, you want to do the TikTok?
And then there's his TikTok, but I run it all because I can edit very well. Yeah, you can go check it out. Lockbetting.com. It's on TikTok. It's about like bets and stuff.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's betting information put into a small bite-sized video form, which he edits for me quite well, and it gives him a chance to earn his own money, earn his own little trips to Manchester United and WWE and things that he was getting for free last year, but now he has to do a little bit of work for him because he's old enough, and he appreciates it more when he does half an hour for a whole TikTok video and gets $5 for it. It helps him appreciate the value of money a little bit. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.